Oh, and don't forget the sticky message.
You know, the people who log in after we set the sticky message can't see the sticky message. Is it because I'm setting it before?
Hey everybody, this is Gary. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are going to get started at the top of the hour. Now, in the meantime, as you're joining, do us a couple of favors. Number one, head over to the chat feature and let us know where you're calling in from, because number one, we want to know that you can hear us loud and clear. And Chris and I are always very curious as to where you're calling in from. So head on over there. In a second, I'm going to get Chris, and I'm going to get him on here as well. And like I said, as you're joining us, head on over. Brandy from College Station, Herb from DFW, Whitney from Sherman, Texas, Michael, Montreal, Canada, and Keel from Temple, Texas. Great. For everybody who's just joining us, we're asking you to go to the chat section. Make sure that you know how to use the chat section, because here's what's going to happen. We're going to get into some pretty intensive training for about an hour. And we want you to be able to use this chat feature in order to ask questions, because once we're done with the training, well, we're going to do Q&A. So we need to have lots of really thought-provoking, good questions for us to answer. And by the way, I want to let you know this is Gary with the Paperless Agent, and I'm being joined here by Chris. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Gary. How you doing?
Well, I'm great. The oak here, the oak pollen here in Austin is not very nice today.
I like it because it makes me sound a little bit like Barry White.
Yeah, it drops the voice
a little bit. Mm-hmm. So then all of a sudden I sound like a rough and tumble marketing guy.
A rough and tumble.
But I know I'm ready to be sharing these 12 marketing templates that we're using in our real estate practice, that our clients are using in their real estate practices. So I'm excited to share this, because I know, after having seen how what we need as a real estate professionals, in my own assessment, and this is based on our own real estate practice, but it seems like we've become very reliant on all these other places to get business from. And so in many ways, it seems like people, ourselves included, for a spell there, kind of forgot how to get our own business at some point.
Well, that was my fault.
Well, I mean, I blame you.
And well, I know that, and I think you're going to bring that up during today's training as the big major breakdown we had. But like we said, we're going to get started here in about a minute. Really want to make sure that you know how to use the chat feature over there, because we want you to ask a lot of great questions.
Hey, do me a favor, guys, if you could, while we're waiting for everyone to log in, just go to the chat feature and just tell us what the one thing is that you'd like to take or get from your time with us today, and we'll do our best to tailor the information that we've set up for you guys to make sure we try and address that for as many of you as we possibly can. But I'm always curious, what is it that you would like to get from your time with us today? I know for me, whenever I join training, I always have something that I want to get out of it. And more as of late, it seems like the thing I'm looking for is, how do I find more customers? How do I get more customers? How do I get? And I don't know about you guys, that seems like a universal problem, right?
I got that issue. I'm always looking for new customers.
It seems like there's not a problem in our real estate practice that won't be solved by a few more customers, right?
Yeah. All right, Chris, you know what? It's time to roll.
Oh, you know what? It is. And so here's what I'd like to do, Gary, just to start things off. I know we've got people still logging in, but as people are answering that question for us of, what's the thing that you would like to get from your time with us today, I'd like to start things off with a quick show of hands.
Okay.
I'd like to do a little poll.
Okay.
Because I'm curious about this, and I've made speculations about what it is or why people are here, but I want to see, of these three things, right? Because you're in the right place if one of these things is true for you. But I'm curious, we're going to launch a poll here, and I would like for you guys to answer in the poll which one of these three things is the bigger issue for you, right?
Yeah. Now, if you're struggling with all three,
you just pick the one.
You got to pick one.
Pain point. Pick the biggest pain point. So, are you having trouble finding new customers? How many of you have felt this or said this to yourself recently? Use that in the poll feature. Tell us that's the number one thing that's kind of irking you. Maybe you need to do marketing, but you're just struggling to get it done consistently. And I'll tell you what, that's
always been a struggle of mine. Yeah.
Or maybe third, maybe this is where you're at in your real estate practices. You're just looking for some innovative strategies to find and engage customers and prospects. Like, of those three things, which one of those three things really best identifies your situation today? And I'll be honest with you, based on what we see from your responses in the poll, I'm going to lean heavily on really delivering and fulfilling that aspect of it. Now, I will say this. The information we're going to share with you guys hits on all three of these things.
Right.
But I am curious to see what people are telling us. Now, while they're answering that poll for us, Gary, let's just take 15 seconds to introduce ourselves so they know who we are. I'm sure they've done a little bit of research to know a little bit about us. But why don't you introduce yourself, and I'll introduce myself, and then we'll get started.
So that's me over here. I'm waving my hand. My name is Gary Kreth. I am a listing expert agent. I've been selling real estate for just over 22 years now. In the prime of my career, when Chris and I weren't working together and all I was doing was selling real estate, I was going on about 6 listing appointments every single week. And at the time, I was carrying about 50 pending or active listings at a time by myself with one assistant. And so, I was extremely busy, extremely productive, and extremely successful selling real estate just like you are right now.
And my name is Chris Scott. I'm a digital marketing expert. I manage social media accounts with well over 200,000 connections. I work to generate over 5,000 leads every single month in our different businesses that we have together. And what I'm going to be sharing with you guys today is some marketing stuff, everything that I've learned about marketing that's going to be working in a real estate practice. We're going to be sharing with you guys the specific templates that Gary and myself use in our real estate practice that we have together here in Austin, Texas. And I'll be honest with you, this stuff works very, very, very good. I think just in the last 6 or 7 months, we've increased our production by, what is it, $9.5 million?
Oh, no, it's over $10.2 million.
$10.2 million. That's an increase over what we were doing before, just using some of these strategies that I'm going to share with you guys today. So you want to report back the poll, and then we'll get started.
So you should be able to see the poll right now on your screen. It looks like about 31% are having trouble finding new customers. 22% know they need to do marketing but struggle getting it done consistently. And a whopping 47% want innovative strategies to find and engage customers and prospects. Boy, are you in the right place today?
You guys are in the right place today. So here's the goals that I've set for us together, both for Gary and myself, but as well as for you guys. The first goal is for us to choose from a variety of strategies and tactics to find new customers to sell more homes. Here's what I know. You're going to want to do many of these 12 different marketing templates that I'm going to share with you. Just pick 3 or 4. I'll be honest with you, pick 3 or 4. And the goal is to do those 3 or 4 consistently and to do them effectively, right? Now, in order for us to be able to do this consistently, one of my goals is to inspire us to harness the power of marketing tools, right? Because marketing tools allow us to do things more consistently.
And more efficiently too.
And more efficient. That's the thing. If you're using the right tools, right, you get greater reach, greater distribution of your message, a better quality message in the first place. You have to work less to get that message out to people.
Chris, my dad, he was in real estate for 28 years. And when he died, that's when I got into real estate. And I went through his files and I found massive inefficiencies in his processes. He worked his tail off to close $3 million a year. Well, once I started implementing technologies and harness these marketing tools, especially like what you're about to talk about, I very quickly in my first year sold twice as much as he did in his best year.
This is a good example. 30 years ago, if we wanted to share a message with, let's say, people in our sphere of influence, we would have had to written a letter up, print that thing out, put it into an envelope, put a postage stamp on there, write their name on the thing, and then send it out.
How long did that take?
It would take hours. It would take like a few days just to be able to send a message out. Now you can do it with a few clicks of a button by sending an email, right? So that's where we want to make sure we're using the right tools. And then I also have a goal for us, which is to use templates and campaigns to prove our marketing skills and knowledge. Here's what I have found consistently over and over again. And this goes across for all people who would consider themselves to be self-employed or in a small business, right? There is most of the problems that we have, that determine whether we have a good month or a bad month, are solved with just a little bit of marketing know-how. right? It might be that you need more customers. It might be that you need to engage them differently. It might be that you need to engage them more effectively. It may be that you have to handle your leads better. Whatever the case may be, it really boils down just a little bit of marketing know-how. So we're going to use these templates that we have, or that I've put together, for you guys to be able to accomplish those goals. Now, I am going to say this, because in order to market consistently, you need two things, right? So you need tools and you need content. Those are the time-saving factors, right? You need tools and content. And so some of our favorite tools that we use are the ones that you see on your screen here. I'm not going to belabor them right now, because we're going to, for many of them, not all of them, but we're going to highlight a few of these today throughout the 12 different templates. The other thing that I mentioned, where I said there's tools and then there's content, the other part of that is the content. So these 12 different templates represent the different content templates that we're going to use in conjunction with those tools. Together, what this does is it produces those innovative ways of connecting and engaging our customers. And the result of that is we do find more customers. We do get to work with more customers because of bringing these two things together. Now, I will just give you guys a heads up. Throughout today's presentation, Gary and I will take a few moments to talk about our Marketing Club membership. Our Marketing Club membership provides proven marketing strategies and templates and training delivered to your inbox every single month. From time to time throughout today's presentation, I'll take a minute to talk about one of the main features, and then we'll just continue throughout the training. And at the end of today's training, I'm going to make a special invitation for you guys. So please pay attention to that as we get towards the end of the day of the presentation.
But without further ado, Chris, why don't we get into template number 1, because we've got a lot to share.
Let's just do this. I want to show you guys something that's really easy that you can do in under an hour today.
Okay.
Right? I mean, there's no excuse why you guys cannot do
what
I'm
Chris,
about to
I do this very quickly.
You do this, I mean, an hour is giving you too much time, right?
Yeah.
But if it's the first time you're about to do this real estate market report, then you might need an hour to do it. But I'm telling you, everybody on here can do this in under an hour today, and there's no excuse why you should not do this. And it's pretty straightforward, Gary. It's just producing a quick report on what's happening in the real estate market, shooting a 1-minute video about it, or in your case, you shot 1:27 seconds.
And it's just because, Chris, I'm long-winded sometimes. When you say, Gary, talk about something you know about, I like to talk.
Well, and we all kind of know about the real estate market, right? That's what our expertise is. It's in selling real estate. So tell us what you did here.
Yeah, so what I like to do is I like to answer the biggest questions that my prospective customers have. And here, one of the biggest questions that your customers have every single month and year is, how's the market? So what do? Let's answer it proactively before they have to ask. So what I did is I shot a 1-minute video. It was a Facebook Live video. I just set up my camera, my phone right in front of me. I think here I just even used my AirPods and shot a 1-minute video talking about how is the market, and if you're looking at buying a house, what does this mean to you? If you're looking at selling a house right now, what does this mean to you? And then I said, here we have a call to action. Gosh, if you'd like specific information on your specific situation, just reach out to me.
Just message me for more information and click on the link. So that's what this is a short 1-minute video talking about, in this case, the real estate market. You could do this probably once a month, right? You can do this once a month. It's a 1-minute video, guys.
Yeah.
If it's 2 minutes, that's okay. If it's 45 seconds, that's okay. The goal is to communicate what you know about what's happening in the real estate market and sharing this on a regular basis. Now, this is powerful. I'm going to show you how powerful it is in just a second, but I want to tell you why it's so powerful.
Okay.
So by sharing what you know about what's happening in the real estate market, Gary, what do the people who see this, what are they seeing that they normally don't get to see about you?
Well, what they're seeing is, what is it like to work with me? What is it like to talk to me about my expertise? And what I'm doing is I'm really building this most important word with them called trust. I'm sharing my knowledge, my expertise with them via video, answering the questions they already have. And so I'm taking care of their concerns, building trust with them, and making myself a lot more familiar to them.
So the power of video is this, guys, that you can greatly accelerate the time that it takes for someone to know, like, and trust you, so that they're going to want to work with you. Here's the other thing. If people who are in your sphere of influence, or people who know you or kind of know you, start to see you in these videos sharing what you know, now they get to also know, like, and trust you. more enough and enough to where they can begin to refer you. Now, if this is all you did today and you committed to doing this once a month, I assure you good things will happen for you, but there is another step you have to take.
Yeah, there's another step.
You can't just film the old video. You got to go.
It's not like build it and they will come, right?
No, you got to do this. You got to hit the boost post button.
Okay.
Now, what I don't actually usually advocate the actual hitting of the boost post button. I advocate creating an advertisement for it. But in this case, what I had done is there is a way for you to hit this boost post button for it to be effective. So when I click on the boost post button, all of a sudden, here's the kind of results that we get. We get 893 people being reached by this. We see 723 people watching this video. We have 85 people clicking on it to get more information. 85 people clicking on it to get more information. Now that is called effective marketing. Now you might say, you boosted the post, Chris. How much did you spend? I spent a whopping $2.93.
And got enormous results from it. Like we got really good results for spending hardly any money. And here's the most important thing, hardly any time.
Well, that's the great thing, Gary. You know, how long did it take to shoot a 1 minute, 27-second video?
1 minute, 27
seconds, right?
Yeah.
And then how long did it take me to hit the boost post button? Not very long, at a fraction of a second. And now the key thing here is, in order to make this work, is when you're boosting that post, you got to make sure you're boosting it to the right people. I like to upload our database, our sphere of influence, our contacts that we have in our phones and in our CRM. I upload that to Facebook to make sure that these people see it. And so that's the first template, guys. And that's something like I said.
You can do that right now.
You could do
well,
that.
Don't do it right now.
Don't do it right now because your camera will mess up. But like you could do it based in an hour.
Well, yeah. And
today.
Dana said boosted post, yes, but targeted to whom? People in your database.
So let me keep moving along.
Yep.
And that's a big point. You know, when you're using something like Facebook ads, and we use Facebook ads a great deal. You're going to see a number of examples today where we're using the tool of Facebook ads. When oftentimes what happens is when we do Facebook ads, we don't do it right because we're either sending it to the wrong people or we're using the incorrect formats. And so in that first version, when we boosted that post for Gary's video here, you know, I'm uploading our database, our sphere of influence, and I'm marketing, in this case, just to those people, right? Just to those people, because they're the ones who matter. For this type of information, they're the ones who matter. Other people who matter, people who visited our website recently. I want to make sure that they see this. Other people who matter, people who are watching our other real estate videos that we have. More on that in a little bit. But it is so important to not just try and boost this to anybody and everybody, because everybody and anybody is not your market. You only want to boost this and put it in front of the right people. And when you do that, you can spend as little as a few dollars to get your effective message across, right? That's called target marketing. That is effective because you're putting it in front of the right people who matter. Now, another part of when you're running advertisements, let's say on Facebook, and leads us to our second template, is to make sure you're doing mobile-friendly lead generation.
Yes.
So mobile-friendly lead generation means that we must take into account the mobile devices that most of our marketing is being seen today.
Yeah,
right?
you know, there's a report, Chris, that you shared is that over 80% of the Facebook usage is done on a mobile device.
Right. So maybe some of you may have tried Facebook ads. Did you guys know that 80% of the traffic on Facebook takes place on the mobile device? So if you're not putting your messages, if you're not putting your advertisements in a format that's consistent with 80% of traffic, you are failed to going to get a different result. So maybe you've tried this in the past, but you haven't used their Facebook lead ad format or the Facebook lead generation campaign objective. So when you create a Facebook ad, right, and unfortunately you can't use the boost post feature to do this. You have to go into Facebook ads and actually create an ad, but I could take that same information, but because I'm putting this in front of a group of people who are already familiar with us, right? So this isn't to our database already. This is going to people who have visited our website recently, people who are watching our real estate videos, people who are checking out our listings. I have an audience of thousands of people who are checking all of our information out. And I'm going to show you how to do that also. But I'm just putting an ad like this, how much is my home worth, right? Little custom photography of Gary and myself looking at a home there, and request your expert home value analysis today. Instead of just being a regular ad, what happens is that because this is a Facebook lead ad, an instant experience is being created. So usually what happens when somebody clicks on a link in Facebook from an advertisement, and they go to a website, it takes a full 6 to 8 seconds for that web page to load.
And the danger with that is
people don't want to wait.
They don't wait, and they're like, forget this, I'll keep going.
Now with a Facebook lead ad, it's an instant experience because they never have to leave Facebook.
Right.
The form that they're going to fill out is preloaded into Facebook. And get this, guys, their contact information pre-populates into Facebook.
So all they have to do is tap.
Is click tap and click submit. And that is you're reducing the friction. You're reducing the friction points that might exist for someone who's trying to complete this contact form. So where you may have tried to do lead generation in the past, usually the two culprits, one is you're not using the right format, right? We're not using the right formats for being mobile friendly, right? Because they're just never seeing the ad, they're never seeing the value that you have. And then the other thing is that we're sending these ads into the wrong people. Now, I wanted to, let me see here, let me close this for a second. So the key to making these work is to market to an audience that you've already built, not just cold traffic.
So those are the people where you're saying these people have already been to my website, they've engaged with me on Facebook somehow, they're people we already have some contact with.
In the next template I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to show you the easiest and most cost-effective way of building an audience of people interested in buying and selling, using Facebook as a tool to do this, so that you can start putting these types of advertisements in front of them, and you're going to see your effectiveness go significantly higher, right? So you might have tried maybe you've tried done lead generation on Facebook in the past, but you weren't using lead forms and you weren't using an audience. You just had everybody as your audience. I'm going to show you how to cultivate a very specific audience that you can put these advertisements in front of. Now, before we do, I wanted to talk about the Marketing Club membership and one of the features. Remember, I said I was going to mention a feature of the membership throughout today's presentation. So one of the features that our Marketing Club membership includes is access to our template library with hundreds of Facebook ads, Google ads, marketing emails, checklists, and more. So whenever you need inspiration for an advertisement or some marketing or promotion that you want to do, you can go to that template library, find some inspiration, find a tool to be able to fast track the implementation of any of the things that we provide training on.
Yeah, because you were saying the two things that hold us back from marketing is content and consistency.
And content and consistency. So, you know, our template library is a great place to get that content. Now, I promised you guys I was going to show you the most cost-effective method for building an audience on Facebook that you can retarget to put those lead generation ads in front of. And my favorite, and I'm going to show you the stats. You'll be surprised to see this, Gary. I don't think you've seen this before. But my favorite thing now is promoting our walking tour videos. Now, our walking tour videos are well, Gary, I'll let you talk about what it is because you do them for us.
Yeah, simply all a walking tour video is touring a home and touring it as if your camera is the potential buyer. So we're walking through the home, touring it using a selfie stick, AirPods for your microphone or a lavalier microphone, and I'm simply talking to the camera as if they're the potential buyer. And what this does is it gives people a great opportunity to, number one, see homes that they won't see otherwise. Number two, see what it's like to tour homes with you and work with you. And number three, it gives you an opportunity to share even more expertise and knowledge with potential buyers. Now, Chris, think about this. I have very limited time to go out and show homes and tour homes to potential buyers, right? But by using this technology and by promoting this with an ad, I can get this in front of hundreds, if not thousands of potential buyers and show them this home and show them what it's like to work with me.
So what happens is you literally end up getting hundreds or thousands of people watching this video, and Facebook keep tracks of who's watching your videos. And Facebook will allow you to create an audience of people who have watched your video for at least 3 seconds, and then put additional advertisements in front of them as an audience, right? So I have, and you'll see, we've got like dozens of these different videos that are out there, and it's just trying to get them to watch 3 to 10 seconds of video, and then I can come back and put that lead generation ad in front of these people. Now I'm going to show you lots of different ways of doing that. Now some of you might be a little hesitant to do something like this where your face is on the camera. I'll be honest, this is my favorite format, but I'm going to show you one where it doesn't require you to do that. And I was surprised at how effective this also has been. So we have another type of, and I got to exit my screen for this real quick, guys. I have another type of advertisement that we do. And I use this tool. I'm just going to open this up here. So I use this tool called Spark Video, and I'm going to show you an example of what one of these videos looks like, and then I'll show you
this is his actual phone right now.
Yeah, this is my phone. So I use this tool called Spark Video, and it's really good. So let me just play the video real quick here, so you guys can see what it looks like. So there, oops, there we go.
Oh, there it goes.
So what it does is I just drop these photos in here and then add the text, and it automatically adds music. You probably can't hear the music, but there is music being played there. And so, oops, and then what it'll do is it just animates this video, right? So that people, it creates a very interesting view of looking at this, right?
Yeah, and I love how you have the text populated there as well. That's really nice.
That's what makes this engaging, right? So this is a free tool that you guys can use. It's called Adobe Spark Video. It's a specific app that I have on my phone here. Makes a short video. Now watch this. If I want to change it, I'm just going to go through here and show you how easy. Oops, I need to delete this one because for some reason that one disappeared on me. So let me, actually, I'll just go in. So each slide you see, you can come in here, you can move the slides around. I'm going to go in here because I actually must have deleted this slide. Let me drop a photo in there. Let's do photo, and let's hope my Google Drive is still connected. Yes, it is. Let's go to listings. Let's go to Calabria. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one of those photos from that home. We'll do that one right there. Done. And so what that does is it drops the photo, and then I can go in here and I can add some text, right? So I can put in here, beautiful. Beautiful. There we go. Spelling not working for me this morning. Okay. So beautiful drops it in there, and then what you'll see is it'll start to, I'll do a little preview of that. So that's how it's going to show up, right? So
Man, and that takes no time at all.
You can make a 30-second, you don't have to make a really long video for trying to achieve this goal, right, of making these short videos that we're going to share. For the purpose of it is to promote this on Facebook. So let me go ahead, let me share my screen again real quick so you guys can see it. And just so you guys know, I used this tool called Adobe Spark. You can just Google Adobe Spark Video. And then what I did is I put that same video into an advertisement like the one that you see on your screen here. And what it does is this one was a 40-second one. And it's amazing how, just by having a little bit of music and having some animated text of information about this, and like, again, there's no video. I mean, it's a video technically, but it's like a Ken Burns style, Civil War movie type
very
thing.
well done.
And then what happens is it creates this audience, right? So I spent, in this case, when I took a screenshot, had 492 people watch at least 3 seconds of it for only $8.57.
So Chris, what we effectively just did is we increased the audience that we can market to by 492 people.
Well, here's the thing. So then I have all these videos running, right? Okay, you probably can't see the thing down here, but I have an audience of 20,000 people now that I can market.
So you built up this audience of 20,000 potential clients for us by using Facebook ads.
By using Facebook ads, Facebook videos. I mean, the thing is, people oftentimes get in a little bit of a huff not trying to know who to target on Facebook. I'll tell you who to target on Facebook. Anyone who watches a few seconds of real estate videos that you put out there, that's a person you want to be in touch with.
Okay, so now everything's making sense. Every time you call me and say, Gary, I need another video right now, this is the value behind that.
Here's the thing. It is all about building up your audience. As you build up these audiences, what's happening is that first, they're interested because they're checking out real estate. They're checking out your videos. And you also know that they're starting to know, like, and trust you because many of the videos that we're doing are ones where you're sharing we are sharing our expertise with them, right? So I can go all the way back to this video. Remember this video that I shared with you guys?
Yeah.
Right? This can be included into that audience. So now they're starting to know who we are. They're looking at real estate, so we know they're in the market of buying and selling at some point in the future. Now we're building trust with them because they're seeing our expertise. Then I can come in here with an advertisement like this because now I know they trust us enough to give us good quality contact information.
And so, and you can create that ad and boost this to the people who you've already created that audience. That's the value there.
All right, so moving on. Let's go on to template number 4, which is Gary's open house strategy.
Oh man, if you want to start generating clients in person immediately, this is a great strategy.
So, we've been using Facebook ads. So I'll just show you one of the ways that we promote the open houses is use Facebook ads, again, to promote that listing to a landing page. You can see we can market it for very inexpensive, as little as $33 to be able to get lots of people there seeing and hearing it. But the real core part of this strategy is not what happens before, but what happens during the actual open house.
Yes.
And Gary, maybe you could talk a little bit about the mistakes most people make when they do an open house and why they don't turn into business, but why is it every time you do an open house, you're usually walking away with 1 or 2 customers from it?
Yeah, so the primary concerns that I think need to be addressed and when you're hosting an open house is how do I get people's contact information and how do I ask the right questions to engage them to extract information from them instead of just asking people to sign in on a piece of paper and then asking them questions like, well, did you like the house? Because what does everybody say?
No,
it's
like,
not.
It's not for me.
It's not for me. Okay, well, have a good day. Here's my card. That's the main issue. So what you need to do is you need to know the right questions to ask, and you need to have valuable offers of help for people. For example, when they come into the house, ask them if they would mind signing in on the iPad, bring in new technology. Let them know that you're there to answer any questions they may have. And then as they come back, of course you ask, so how did the house suit you? And answer that.
It's all right. It's not for us.
Oh, well, you know what, Chris? I took the liberty of pulling up on my laptop over here all of the homes for sale in this entire neighborhood. So, please take a moment, feel free, go over there, see if any of those homes suit your needs, because then you can drive by it. And so they do that. And then when they're done, I ask them, well, did any of those suit your needs? And they'll say, oh, yeah, that one on Calabria Court, that one really suits her. I say, well, great. You know what? I'll meet you over there at 4 o'clock when I shut down this open house.
Wow. So you're basically engaging through conversation. You're not, of course, that home is not going to be right for them, but that is the point of conversation for which you can use to extract more information so you can find out what it is that they're looking for.
Yep.
Gotcha. All right. Let's move on to the next template.
Hold on, I want to answer a question real quick. Steven said audience is a vanity number. It's actually not. What is the conversion rate? How many people are clicking through to call or set an appointment? Well, these ads in the past 6 months alone have generated an additional $10.2 million in production for us. So
actually, let me go back to that, Stephen. I think you may have missed what I was trying to communicate there. So when you said audience is a vanity number, I think what you're saying is reach is a vanity number. And I would agree, because you can't do anything with reach. But when somebody watches 3 seconds of video, Stephen, what you can do is Facebook allows you to go into the custom audiences feature and create a new audience of people who've watched my videos. You can specify which ones or just say all of them. You can go in there and say people who've watched 3 seconds, 10 seconds, or 25, 50, 75% of the video, right? So all different qualification factors. So what we're doing is we're using this money to buy an audience, all right? So just like all the big home search sites, you know what they do? They use money to buy an audience. They're just using an app to buy the audience, and they keep to remarketing them. And it is through remarketing and building that trust that they then sell us those leads. So what we're doing is we're advocating for the use of creating our own audiences for us to market to, because we can do it far less we can do it far more cost effectively when we just spend a few dollars with our creative content to be able to build that same audience to put those lead generation ads in front of. So don't make the mistake of saying, oh, well, I tried that this hasn't worked. Really look at the distinctions that I'm making here. I'm not just going for reach or impressions. What I'm going for is building an audience, because I know if I can acquire the audience, I can do just as good a job as a home search site or anybody else can, right? And so that's just one of the strategies for using something like this. But it doesn't matter how much lead generation that you do. Here's an unfortunate thing that happens is that what happens and this gets us into the 5th template, is that we have to look good when we get Googled, because whether you're doing online lead generation, heck, even if you're doing like just old school lead generation, print stuff, relying on word of mouth, let me show you something that happens, right? So what happens is this. People these days, when they get referred to us, these days when they come across our information online and they're scrutinizing whether they want to work with us, is they will ultimately at some point in time go to the internet to Google us, all right? They're going to Google us to verify or learn more about who we are and whether they want to work with us. And unfortunately, looking good or the lack of looking good online is one of the biggest thieves of our potential customers, because we don't really look that good online, right? We don't really take the time to Google ourselves. At some point today, go Google yourself. And I want you to look at the search results like I would look at Gary's search results here that you see online, and scrutinize them. Don't give yourself an attaboy or attagirl saying, look, I showed up on Google. No, click on them and scrutinize them. And just like a prospective customer would be, try to find a reason why they shouldn't work with you. What are the reasons? What are the confidence breakers that are showing up online? When
because when they're going online, they're not looking for reasons to work with you. They're looking for reasons not to work with you. And we need to make sure we don't give them reasons not to work with us.
So when you get Googled, right, that is a window into your online identity. And your online identity really, in the old days, and I say like a few years ago, I would have said your website was your hub of all your marketing communication. But nowadays, with social media and all these other tools that we have,
video and YouTube and everything,
your online identity consists of your website, your social media accounts. It's really anything where someone can go and learn more about you. So it might be your LinkedIn profile, right? So for Gary, if someone Googles you, Gary, they might see your website, right? They might see your LinkedIn profile. And then what we do is we use tools like omnipresent marketing, Facebook ads, Google ads, video marketing, and all the other things that we might do to bring people to our online identity. And it is through this process that new customers start to come, right?
Right.
And so they start to, it's almost, think of it as like a filtering box of being able to take the traffic opportunities that come from these different places into our online identity. Now, the old way of doing this was you only brought people to the website. The new way of doing this is we take them to anywhere in our online identity. The question is, most of us really don't spend a lot of time thinking about our online identity or even working on our online identity. So
now, why is LinkedIn so important?
Well, just because it's going to show up. So, I mean, someone might come across your LinkedIn profile. The question is, does it look good or does it not look good, right? People might come across video. Like for us, they're going to come across our videos. So I know what's going to happen is when they reach out to us, what do they always say?
Well, what they always say is, man, I've seen all your videos. It's like I'm meeting a celebrity here.
Right. And then hopefully we have some really good website or websites so that we have an online presence where we have profiles about us online where people can learn more about us. And then so what happens is by working on our online identity, this prevents the loss, right? Because I mentioned that the lack of a good presence online is the thief for prospective customers, because they go online and then they leave us because they're like, I don't know about this individual. There's plenty of other people. There's something like one real estate professional for every 90 people in the United States. So, like they have options, right? They've got options. So there's no reason why to take a risk with someone who doesn't look good online. And that's why it's so important to spend some time here looking good online. Now, I did mention that I was going to talk about our marketing club membership from time to time. One of the features that it includes is an SEO-friendly marketing website that has blog posts posted for you automatically every single month. It has property pages for you to be able to market listings in real estate. It also includes lead generation pages for you to use for your lead generation efforts. And this is just one more of the features that's included with our marketing club membership.
Boy, talking about taking care of that online identity to be able to have this done for you.
For yours, it always shows up in the first page of search results because it's had some time. Now, I want to shift gears a little bit.
Yes.
Okay, I want to talk about your real estate resume. I mentioned LinkedIn here, but I want to talk about a specific tool to represent ourselves slightly different in the marketplace.
Yeah, so Chris, this was really interesting. You came to me one day and you said, hey, Gary, do you have a professional dossier? And I looked at you like, what
the heck is that?
What are you talking about?
I gotten that idea from, like those spy movies, like the James Bond thing, where they toss the dossier onto the table and it's got the top secret envelope thing on there. So, everybody needs to have one of these dossiers. And so, Gary, where's your dossier?
And I was like, why would I need a dossier, Chris? And his answer was, Gary, do you realize every time you are meeting with a prospective buyer or a prospective seller, you're actually interviewing for a job? So just like individuals who are interviewing for jobs, you need your resume, you need your professional dossier. And I'm like, oh, you're right.
Well, the professional dossier is just an easier consumable version of your resume that's meant to call out what it's like, your expertise and what it's like to work with you. So in the template you see here, it's just a short bio, maybe
Mhm.
some reviews, maybe some recent work, i.e., listings that you may have either sold or
Or
customers
that your brokerage has
or that your
sold.
brokerage has sold, or maybe a buyer that you've worked with recently and what, the success that you've had, and then some examples of how they might be able to interact with you. So you take a template like this of yourself. Now the question is, what do I do with this? Right. So here's another tool that's very effective is still email. Right. So what you can do is you can email this out to your sphere of influence, really anybody that you have their contact information for, and you'll send them an email like this, attaching the professional dossier to that email.
Yeah, it's just introducing it, and your subject line would be "Your friends and family will thank you for this." Let me read this.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so you would say something like this in the copy. Have you ever found yourself in a serious bind? You'd be surprised how often I've run into people who are trying to buy or sell a home who aren't my clients yet and found themselves stuck at a standstill or heading for disappointment. Though I'm always happy to help these folks out, they wouldn't be in the situation if they'd hired the right professional to start with, which is the point of this message. Because you're part of my network, I want to make sure everyone you know won't find themselves in a bind when buying or selling their next home. If someone you know is thinking of buying or selling a home, please use my recently updated professional dossier to refer them to someone they can trust, me. They will definitely appreciate you for helping them avoid a major pitfall when they go buy or sell their home. Chris, I love this because for several reasons. Number one, it shows the expertise to everybody in the database. It reintroduces me as that real estate professional, but this is also a very powerful referral tool. We are giving everybody in my sphere of influence a tool to refer me business.
Right, because they would if they were prompted, right?
Sure.
I mean, I think that's the thing we oftentimes overlook is that people would refer us if we reminded them that we sell real estate, we reminded them that they know, like, and trust us, and they had the opportunity to do so.
Yep.
So this is just a tool to put into the hands of the people that know us to prompt them, to remind them to send this out. You could send an updated professional dossier probably once or twice every single year, right? Every 6 months, you just update it and send it out. And that's the cool thing is you're updating it, and then now you've got a reason to send it out, right?
It's like, hey, I just updated this again. Let me know, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
So this is the professional dossier. Let me switch gears here and let's talk about your untapped professional network.
Absolutely, okay? Chris, here's the thing. Let me ask everybody here. Do you have a professional network? If you're in real estate, the answer is
anybody who you might potentially refer is in your professional network.
Yep,
right?
absolutely.
Who would that include? Like
that could be your lenders, your title company, your painters, any contractors you use, your landscape company, doctors, anybody who's in your network that you use or refer to other people.
Yeah. And Gary and I actually once we compiled a list of ours, and it was something like 100 people. I mean, it was a lot of people. When you really sit down and put pen to paper, you're like, well, you know what? Remember that time we had to refer that carpet cleaner because that rug had all that wine spilled all over it for that one listing? Oh yeah, we got to put that carpet cleaner down there. So really, it's anybody who you might refer. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to sit down with them and say, I'd like to send a message out to my database about your firm.
What is the best way for me to refer you?
What's the best way for me to refer you? I want to be able to send something like this, and we'll read this email for you guys so you can get the gist of it. And then you would actually send this email out to your database, to your sphere of influence, promoting somebody else. Get this, you're actually promoting somebody else, but there's a benefit to promoting somebody else.
You're offering help and expertise to those people that they don't know how to get this elsewhere.
Well, you're first off, you're serving your sphere of influence by giving them access to a trusted resource, right? And what you're going to see when we read this, you're going to see how this is structured so that it is seen as a point of value for them, right? It's not a promotion, it's a point of value that you've created for them. On the flip side of it, for people in your professional network, you're giving them free promotion and marketing. That makes you stand out from anyone else that they may be working with, right? That might be enough to turn them into a word of mouth billboard for you. It might be enough to turn them into the person where, you know what, if they need to buy or sell real estate, that you're the person they're going to work with. So let's read this quick email so you can understand what communication that we do once we've found that person that we want to refer. In this case, it's a painter, right?
And by the way, steal this from us. Take it and go use it. Subject line is, why is a realtor writing about paint? Hey, Chris, did you know a fresh coat of paint on the inside and out can make your home feel like new? It can also help you get top dollar if you're thinking of selling your home. This month, I'm featuring my trusted connection for taking care of all your home painting needs, Jim Still with Still Paint and Remodeling. Since you're my client, I want to give you access to my professional network. What's that? In my line of work, I'm always on the lookout for people I can trust to take care of my clients. My professional network consists of the service professionals, business owners, and local firms I trust and recommend. If you are thinking about getting some painting work done, message me and I'll make a personal introduction to ensure you're treated like a VIP, which everybody wants that. Love you, Gary. P.S. I love this. Since you're my client, this is you go to the vendor and you ask what you can offer special to your database. Since you're my client, Steel Paint and Remodeling is offering a special offer. As my client, you're entitled to 1 free room painting service when you paint 2 or more rooms. So it's a great way to build that relationship with the professional vendors and offer enormous value to people in your sphere.
Yeah, so that's something that you can do in an afternoon, right? You could schedule a coffee right now with somebody in your professional network that you want to be in your professional work and say, I would like to send an email like this out to my sphere of influence featuring you. How do I refer you, right? Like you could do that in an afternoon. And you know what? You do this 3 or 4 times a year. Do this 3 or 4 times a year and your goal, right? Let's move on to the next template, but before, and the next template is going to be really powerful. The next 2 are really powerful. But before we get into them, I did want to talk about one of the features of our Marketing Club membership. You're going to get access. Our Marketing Club gives you access to our training library with hundreds of tutorials, instructional videos, implementation plans, and how-to guides on all of the strategies. And we've given you a few examples of the types of strategies just throughout today's presentation for you. But when you want to go to implementation, sometimes you need more help. You need some information, and that's in our training library, and that's why we've made that as part of our Marketing Club membership. Now, moving on to template number 8, which is our omnipresent marketing campaign.
Yeah, you first came to me and you talked to me about omnipresent marketing, and I was like, Chris, what the heck are you talking about?
So omnipresent marketing, I think, probably is best defined by a gentleman named Andy Cernovitz in his classic book, Word of Mouth Marketing: How Smart Companies Get People Talking. Right. So what Mr. Cernovitz, and this was written, I think, like in the late 90s. I mean, it's a recent classic, I guess you could call it, right? So he has a book he's one of the authorities on word of mouth marketing. And he defines word of mouth as 2 things, right? It's number 1, listen to this. Word of mouth marketing is number 1, giving people a reason to talk about you or your stuff, right? So first, it's giving people a reason to talk about you or your stuff. Okay. And number 2, making it easier for that conversation to take place. So this is what defines word of mouth marketing is we're giving people a reason to talk about us, and we're making it easy for the conversation to take place where they might refer us. So here's what happens oftentimes is we do a really good job at taking care of our customers, and we think because we took great care of them that they might want to refer us, or people in our sphere of influence might want to refer us. But you know what? Time and space has this thing that it does to people where they forget. You just don't enter into their field of consciousness when they have a real estate conversation. And so what we have to do is we've got to give reminders of that experience, or reminders, if they haven't worked with us in the past, reminders of why they might want to work with us. But we've got to give people a reason to talk about us, right? And just being me, just being Gary is not a reason enough to talk about us, and we got to make it easy for the conversation to take place.
So we've got to be top of mind, right? And now there are tools that we can use to do this.
Right. Well, let's take a look at what this looks like in practice. So I've already shown you a number of different ways that omnipresent marketing happens, right? So what happens here is like, all right, Gary shoots a video talking about the real estate market, promoting to his database, to our sphere of influence. It's giving people a reason to talk about you because you're talking about the real estate market. You're providing advice. You're making it easier for them to refer you should a conversation take place. Because first off, you've reminded them that you sell real estate, right? Like that's a big thing, is they have to remember that we sell real estate. And that's something that oftentimes doesn't happen. We feel like they should, but oftentimes they don't. Or when they see your videos where you're doing property, when you're those walking tours, it's a reminder that you sell real estate. It's a reminder of your expertise and that you are somebody that they could refer, or somebody that they might even want to work with themselves. Even just seeing videos being done by you or by your firm is going to help amplify that. Now I'm going to show you one of the things that we have to do is make sure that we're providing value through these communications and changing the modality of the messages being shared. And what I mean by modality is just the different formats in which they receive the information. So in the next template, in my next template, we're going to look at the ultimate omnipresent marketing campaign. Okay, I want to show you guys the ultimate omnipresent marketing campaign, and it starts like this. So we have this campaign that we call the MVP, or the monthly value program, and it is the ultimate omnipresent marketing campaign. And so what we do, there's several points. I think there's like 5 or 6 points to this, and I'm going to talk through each one. Each one of these. Now, if you don't do 100% implementation of this, I understand. Even if you did a 50% implementation of this, meaning you do 50% of these things, then you will be winning when it comes to word of mouth. Now, I've stacked this in the order of priority in which you do them. Okay, I've stacked this in the order of priority.
So like this first one is a must-do.
The more important things as part of your MVP I've done first, but in an ideal world, you would do all of them, but you do them in this order. So here's what it looks like. You pick a topic that you want to talk about. It could be about the real estate market. It could really be about anything that's real estate related. In this case, we're going to talk about the real estate market, but what's happening on a national level, not on a local level, but on how these national forces like interest rates and things of that matter, how they affect us at the local level. So Gary, you shoot a quick video. I think this one was actually 1 minute and 17 seconds. All right. And what are you doing here?
Well, all I'm doing is I'm talking about what's going on in the market and what's coming for us in the coming months, because people are always wondering what's going on in the market right now, and how does that affect me? Always remember to bring it back to them. With them, what's in it for me? Bring it back. This is what it means to you.
So we put this video, we get this out there, we boost it. We take an email. All right, we pick an email on the same topics. We author an email based on the same thing that you talked about. In this case, we know, is the housing market out of control? But it's sharing the same points that you talked about in the video that you produced. So we have this email. We send the email out. We have a blog post that we've written that goes a little bit more in depth than what we did in the email or in that video, so that we can showcase our expertise. By the way, if you don't have, if you don't write blogs and maybe you're more of a talker, then you could do like a long format video here. But I do suggest doing a blog post if you can, or use a long format video. So this blog post is linked to in the email, right? And then what we do is we take social media posts all on the same topic. How's the housing market? We post this on social media as well. We go to Pinterest, we go to Instagram, and we share all that information. In the chances where we have like encounters with actual customers, we print out a copy of a PDF report and we send this out. And so here's what happens, is that over the course of the month, people are getting exposure to us in all these different formats, hence the changing of the modality or the format of the message. So they're seeing us on Facebook, they're getting our emails, maybe they're getting a voicemail from us, they're getting Facebook messages from us, they're seeing us on Instagram, they might be seeing signs in the yard or signs on the internet, and this is how we become pervasive to the experience. So that whenever they think of real estate, we're always the thing that comes to mind. The person that comes to mind is us, because they've seen us in video, they've seen our emails, they've seen our blog posts, they've seen us on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, right? They see us, and every month we change the topic. So 1 month might be on what's your home actually worth. Another one might be on the top 8 home design trends. These are all ones that we've created for our customers, right? So we're always changing the topic. It's always real estate related information. Now, why does this work? Remember what Andy's definition of what word of mouth marketing is, right? It's making it easy, right? So we're giving people a reason to talk about us, and we're making it easy for the conversation to take place. So when we show up in all these different formats, it's easy to have a conversation with us, because they can hit reply to the email, they can hit send message on the Facebook post, right? Wherever we're showing up, we're making it easy for them to not only engage us, but then also if they have a chance to be able to have a word of mouth encounter with somebody that they know when they have a real estate conversation, we're the ones who they think of.
Absolutely.
Right? They think of us.
And you know what? Here's what happens, Chris. As you do this consistently, remember, content, which this is the content, and then consistency, what happens is people start saying, man, I'm seeing you everywhere.
And that's exactly what happens. It almost, you do this consistently for 3-4 months, and what you're going to find is you'll have a consistent source of business coming from your sphere of influence on the regular basis. And that's one of the places, you know, I like to get business from Facebook, I like to get business from Google, but we must first address that sphere of influence, because we all have it, even though it may be untapped. And it's a campaign like this that allows us to
But
cultivate
here's
that
the problem,
business.
Chris. In real estate, as realtors, we're busy servicing the clients we have. And so we don't really have the time to go out and
Yeah.
cultivate all this content.
Which is why in our marketing club membership, one of the features that we provide is a new marketing campaign every single month with blog posts, marketing emails, social media posts, marketing reports. Every month we provide our clients who are our members with a full campaign like the one that you see here on a different topic so that they can implement the the monthly value program or MVP program with their sphere of influence. Now, that leads us to template number 10, real estate expert positioning videos. Video is so powerful. I got to tell you, now one of the things we've committed to doing is shooting videos from time to time. I shouldn't say committed to doing, because doing from time to time isn't really a commitment, but we do videos and then we promote them.
Yep.
And I'll tell you, one of the things that's happened with this is that, you know, like probably 1 out of 5, 1 out of 10 videos, just for whatever reason, really resonates. And so you remember how I was building all those audiences on Facebook?
Yes.
I just send all these videos, because what happens is we're building that audience and then we're using video of talking about what we know, real estate, right? So just talking about, in this case, how to choose a real estate professional, right? But people are getting to know, like, and trust us because we're just sharing what we know. And that is the way we can stand out online, is instead of just communicating about real estate or communicating, you know, things that we want from them, is just share what you know, provide value, provide expertise. In doing so, you cement yourself in the mind of those viewers as an expert, as a real estate expert. Who else shares their expertise on video but someone who's an expert? And that's exactly what we're doing. Studies from Facebook had found that people who watched just a few seconds of video had a significant increase on brand awareness. Here's this more compelling stat that I found more recently in doing research, is that according to studies, people using video in their marketing are getting 66% more leads than those who are not. And that was from the Aberdeen group in a recent study.
If you want 66% more business than you're getting right now, you have to implement video.
And here's what I find is that a lot of times people are a little like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. You know, we have so many of our members that have like taken on that challenge of doing video. Mary Anglin is one of our members here in a feature. She actually started doing this for YouTube really consistently. And it's amazing where, and I talked to Mary about what her process was. She's like, you know, I just committed to shooting videos. I committed to, you know, developing the comfort level of talking to a camera, and then, you know, spent less than 100. I mean, she uses her iPhone or iPad to shoot the video. She's got a nice little lighting kit that costs less than $100 to be able to light up the room nice, and then you're off to the races because you're talking about what you know. She did tell me one of the key things for her was to build up confidence was to practice talking to a camera about what she knows. She actually takes the time to script out a little bit of what she's going to talk about. But I know people can do this because it really just is the intention of, I want to show up this way for my customers. I want to show up this way differently in my marketplace. And I know it's possible for everybody to do. Template number 11, I'm going to go over this real quickly. It's selling off season. It's just sharing information about selling your home when it's not the ideal time, when most people perceive it to not be the ideal time. But I'm going to move on to template number 12 because I think this one is something that is a novel idea for a lot of you guys. And I want to make sure I have enough time talking about it. So template number 12 is your secret client replicator.
I love the way you name that, also known as the client welcome kit.
Yes, our client welcome kit.
What are we talking about here, Chris, and what all is involved?
All right, so I'm just going to run through some of the, I have slides that show you what our client welcome kit looks like. It's just a digital document that is what I would refer to as an onboarding document, right? So someone who's a new customer, what should they know about us?
Right.
What do they need to know in working with us? How do they engage us to work with us? And so, you know, it's interesting is that you can create this client, you know, for new clients, but you can actually send this to prospects.
Yeah, this is a wonderful tool to introduce all of the services that you provide to prospective clients, welcoming them into your real estate family.
So you're just sharing, you know, the key thing here, and you've probably heard this consistently over today's presentation, is you're sharing information, you're sharing expertise, you're sharing the benefits of working with you, and you're just changing the modes and ways in which you do that. That is how you accomplish effective marketing, is by taking the same information and turning it in all these different formats, because people will take it and like consume it in the way that makes sense for them. But what's great about this client welcome kit is you can provide this to people who are in your sphere of influence You can provide this who've already bought or sold a home with you, right? Because you can say, hey, I've updated my client welcome kit and I want to give you guys a copy of this in case you encounter someone who might need my help. But you can also send this to prospects so that you can use that assumptive close strategy so that they say, well, goodness, oh, you're treating me like a customer already, right? I mean, I would get this in the hands as early as you can to be able to treat that prospect like they're a customer to start building that trust. Now, we tend to do a lot of videos. We just link to our videos that are on YouTube or online. You could also link to blog posts. But what you're seeing here is lots of information and then offers of help like this one. Thinking of selling your home? Get my expert home value analysis. So we're making offers of help. We're setting expectations on what it's like to work with us. In this case, it's showing, hey, telling them we're going to send you monthly reports.
The MVP.
AKA the MVP, right? So we're setting up the expectations. We're letting them know that we have a professional network. Remember, we showed you the email that we use to be able to promote our professional network.
So this is all really bringing everything into one beautiful bundled package. And
then we can send it, and then we can actually take a copy of this and send this to people that we know. And this becomes a client replicator or a client duplicator because this is a referral tool for them to refer you. So you can send this out in an email saying, hey, has anyone ever told you they were thinking of moving? In my line of work, it happens all the time. Whenever someone is thinking of moving, you can do them a huge favor providing some tips and advice from an expert, which is why I want to give you a copy of my recently updated client welcome kit. It contains a lot of advice and tips for anyone thinking of buying or selling a home. This client welcome kit is something I've started to send to my new clients to help educate them, but I wanted you to get a copy so that you could send it to people you know who are thinking of moving. Feel free to share this with your friends and family. And by the way, if you're thinking of moving in the next 6 to 12 months, please let me know so I can set you up with a custom search from the MLS or provide you with a market analysis of your home. So you send this out, and you can send this out at least once a year. Update it,
update it, and then you send it out as, hey, here's an updated one.
Right. So what you're doing is you're putting together this value that represents you, but is also something that it's a referral tool for them to use. Therefore, it makes it easier for them to refer you. Remember, we're trying to give them a reason to talk about us, but we're also trying to make it easier for the conversations to take place. And this is exactly how we guide those conversations. Now, if you're sending out that monthly value program every single month like clockwork, it allows you to send these other messages and these other pieces of information out because now you're being seen as someone who is a trusted advisor. You're being seen as someone that they can trust because you're providing information. And only from time to time are you asking like, hey, do you need help? Or hey, do you need someone, or do you know someone who might need help? And that's how you build that and establish that trust so that you don't feel like you're begging for business because you're providing value. That is what entitles you to ask from time to time if they need any help.
Now, Chris, I have a lot of questions here about these templates. And so I think a question we should ask everybody here is, do you want the templates from today's training?
Okay. Well, we did talk about 2 different templates today, guys. I talked about the client welcome kit. I talked about the professional dossier. And here's what I remember. I said I was going to have a special invitation for you guys. You can get the client welcome kit templates. You can get the professional dossier templates as gifts today when you join our marketing club. Now, I've been talking about our marketing club throughout today's presentation. Our marketing club is going to give you proven marketing strategies and templates and training delivered to your inbox every single month. Now, it's going to allow you to market more consistently. It's going to allow you to find more customers and have more people to work with. It's going to give you innovative strategies to be able to connect with and engage with more customers. Now, I want to recap on the different features that are included and then make you a special invitation to join. So our marketing club membership includes a new marketing campaign every single month with blog posts, marketing emails, social media posts and reports. This is just one example of 1 month with the emails and social media posts. We even give you guys a phone script that you can use to develop talking points and even a report that you can use to print out if you want to send that out old school as well. Our marketing club members get a SEO-friendly marketing website that has blogs automatically posted on their behalf. There's property landing pages so you can market listings if you choose. You can use it for lead generation. If you don't want to use it for anything, just set it up so that it's one more positive impression of your online identity when people go to search you. Our marketing club members also get access to our template library with hundreds of Facebook ads, Google ads, marketing emails, checklists, and more. You also get access to our training library with hundreds of tutorials, instructional videos, implementation plans, and how-to guides. You can easily cancel, hassle-free, no questions asked. There's no contract or commitment when you join our marketing club. Now, you might be wondering, how much does our marketing club cost? Well, you would spend literally hundreds of dollars every single month getting these individual features from other firms. $100 a month at least for getting marketing materials, $100 a month for getting a marketing website, $100 a month for training and getting templates that you can use, right? So you would spend hundreds of dollars a month trying to get all of these things from different places. But you can join our marketing club for only $67 a month today. And there's no contract, there's no commitment when you join us today. I wanted to give you guys a quick report that I got from Michael Reedy. I know it's hard to read on the screen, so I'll read it out loud. He says, everyone spend the $67 a month and get full access, total access to the videos and all of the things that we provide training on. You even get access to our private Facebook group that connects you to, he thinks 8,000, I think it's like 8,000 members across the nation. And then we do monthly trainings. And so he says he's a real estate professional in Orlando, and he's been with our club for 4 months and has been watching us do our thing for over a year, consistently the best training program he's ever seen. Now, when you join our marketing club today, I've got an extra special bonus gift that I'm going to throw in for you guys. This is a gift because I've talked a lot about Facebook marketing and how to get Facebook to start working for you. So I'm going to throw in our Facebook Marketing for Real Estate program valued at $597. It's going to give you everything you need to use the Facebook ad platform. There's Facebook advertising templates, checklists. There are tutorials and demonstration videos. We have so many of our clients who are using Facebook to get such great results. We show you how to do just listed campaigns, open house campaigns, lead generation ads, messenger ads, and so much more. I've got one more story that I wanted to share from Teresa. She says, Teresa, I wanted to say a huge thank you to the Paperless Agent team. Thank you, Gary, Jordan, and Chris, and the whole team behind the scenes. We actually tripled our income in the last year, all because we followed the Paperless Agent plan. They sold over $9 million. They started doing open houses and following our sales activity plans and reigniting client contacts. They've been with another office for over 13 years and never had this level of marketing material. The saying goes, plan your work your plan. The Paperless Agent gives you the plan. You just need to work it. And thank you for everyone who shares on the private Facebook group. So thank you, Teresa. So if you want to join our marketing club and get access to the client welcome kit templates and the professional dossier template and the Facebook Marketing for Real Estate program, just click on the button that shows up on your screen there, or go to thepaperlessagent.com/marketpro to be able to get these specific gifts when you join the program.
Absolutely. So, Chris, thank you for taking us through everything that's included in the marketing club. I do want to share with everybody what's going to happen for all of you who are joining today. Number one, MJ said, can I cancel anytime? Yes, absolutely. You can cancel anytime, hassle-free. We make it very, very simple to do so. And MJ, as you and everybody else here who is signing up today, what's going to happen is when you sign up by clicking on that Join Club Now blue button, you're going to get an email instantly from our system, and that is going to show you exactly what you need to do next. So you'll get an email, you'll be able to join and log in and get started on all of these campaigns immediately. And like Chris said, you're going to be able to download the client welcome kit templates. Those are templates that it doesn't matter if you're using a PC or a Mac, you're going to be able to customize those and brand those for yourself. You're going to get Chris's Facebook Marketing for Real Estate program, which will help you step by step implement all of these advertising campaigns that he just talked to you about. And you can download and customize your own professional dossier template. So head on over there, click on that Join Club button right now, and you'll be able to join.
Gary, there's something I wanted to bring up. There's 2 points that I wanted to make. I think, and this is something I need you guys to hear, how many of you would say that you take a great job of your customers, right? You take great care of your clients. It's something that you strive to do, is to provide great service to your customers, right? Mm-hmm. If that's you, just make a mental note. That is something that you do. One of the things that Gary and I have seen in the marketplace, and this bothers me so much to see this, right? But we take such great care of our clients, and yet we don't get the recognition in our local marketplace that we're really working and should be producing.
But
right?
Whose fault is that?
Well, I don't like to look at whose fault that is, because here's what I know. We do take great care of our clients, but we don't get the recognition that we really deserve to get based on the amount of time and energy and effort and care we put into them. And that little gap, and this is the thing, is that It's not. I always say it's not our fault that they're
It's how do we bridge that gap is the
well,
question we should
here's
be
the
asking.
thing. I think in some ways the leadership in our industry has failed us. Right, the fact that there's other like the fact that there's these other entities that can take our data, right, and monetize that and charge us money for it. Like, I think in some ways we've been failed by our leadership, and I know that just a little marketing know-how is going to close the gap from being able to get the recognition we deserve and based on the care that we provide. And that's really what the whole goal of our marketing club is. It's to be able to help you close that gap when it comes to having some marketing know-how, whether it's finding more customers, whether it's doing marketing more consistently, or whether it's just staying more innovative in how you engage those customers. That's what we try to achieve in our marketing club day in, day out for you guys, so you can get that recognition that you really deserve based on the value that you provide. I know the value that we provide our real estate customers, and it's like a labor of love, right?
It is.
I mean, it's a labor of love, going and showing those homes day in, day out.
That's why we got into this business, is because we love working with clients, we love working with humans, and we love taking care of them. But to your point is that, man, we're losing business because we're allowing others to take it away. It's time for us to bridge that gap and take it back.
And take control. Now, some of you might be sitting there saying to yourself, yes, Chris, Gary, I really want to be able to do that, but I'm no rock star like you guys are. You guys are here on this training, and you're sharing all the stuff, and you guys saw this real estate, so on and so forth. And here's what I'm going to share with you. Just because I'm the marketing guy and I've shared a lot of marketing stuff with you today, I want you to know this. I know you can do this because I am, and I was and am still today, an Army cook. Okay, when I got out of high school, I didn't have a lot of options. College wasn't on my horizon. Like, my options was join the Army. And the option was not to join the Army as like an officer. It was go enlist in one of the jobs that have one of the lower intelligence requirements, which is an Army cook. So that's what I did when I got out of high school. So if an Army cook can figure out how to do Facebook ads, if an Army cook can figure out how to do these different things, I know you guys can do it well. Do it as well. It just takes that first step, right? Maybe it's shooting that first video. Maybe it's, getting familiar with Facebook ads. Maybe it's sending out some of these things and trusting the process that it's going to work. But I know it can work for you guys if you'll just take the first step. For many of you, the first step is just signing up right now so that you can take advantage of the special offer, get these bonus gifts, and get into the marketing club today.
All right. So if you haven't already signed up, we're about to get into the Q&A. Go sign up by clicking on that blue button that says Join Club Now, and we're going to get to your questions. But like Chris said, we do want you to get into this community. One thing that he mentioned, and one thing that really I think is probably an enormous benefit here, is the community of like-minded real estate professionals that you're going to gain access to. It's like, I always found, Chris, when I tried to run my own real estate business in a silo all by myself,
it's tough, man.
It's tough.
It's very tough.
So by having access to a community of like-minded professionals, it really amplifies everything. It helps keep me accountable. And I also like to bounce things off other people, say, hey, I'm doing this. What do you guys think about that?
So what Gary's talking about is we have a private Facebook group for all of our members to engage and interact and share. And you'd be amazed at the generosity of our the expertise, generosity, and experience of our fellow members that are in that marketing club, always willing to be able to share their advice, their perspective, and what they know. And there are literally collectively thousands of years of wisdom in there, because there's thousands of people contributing their experience to that community that we have online. And whenever I need inspiration for something, if I'm working on maybe a new real estate campaign, or I'm trying to work on a Facebook ad and it just needs to spark some interest, I'll go there, and I won't even have to ask a question. I can just go there and look at the dialogue that's taking place, although I do ask many questions on there because Army cook here trying to figure things out. But the collective community we have is very powerful. And I was talking to one of our members, Mary Anglin, and one of the things that she was saying is that a lot of the things that she does in her real estate practice, it really does require the support of others, right? She was using video as an example that, she had actually, got together a group of people online to be able to start practicing and rehearsing video, trying to accomplish the same thing. And she found that, it was really hard to do it on her own, right? It was really hard to just go at it solo. And I think that's one of the things that is difficult in real estate, is that we have the we have the flexibility of being on our own a little bit too much. And so, in the old days, that meant that we wouldn't make all those cold calls and calling on those expireds and FSBOs like we were supposed to. Well, in these days, what it means is that we don't know if this is really going to work, because it does. The sales cycle in real estate takes a couple of months, and so you start doing these things and you're not sure whether it's working. Well, you got to go to that community so that you can get that inspiration, that motivation to keep doing it, because you'll be able to learn and hear from others who've already walked the path before you to say, yes, this is working. Don't worry, you're doing it right. Just, hold that confidence just for a little while longer to get the results that you're looking for.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you, Chris. So if you haven't signed up yet, go do it now as we get to Q&A. So number one, Chris, several questions about Canada. Is this easy to implement in Canada? And do you have members in Canada? So yes and yes. So
let me address that specifically.
Yes, perfect.
So Gary, for our marketing club members who are in Canada, we provide a marketing campaign, an MVP, a monthly value program every single month. We change the topics out. This happens to be how's the market. We've done others on things like home design trends, and we've done others on like what's your home worth, and so many real estate related topics. Whenever we cover a topic that relies on U.S. statistics or relies on a specific process to the United States, we will create a second version for our Canadian members to use, to go on their blog posts, for them to use for social media, because we know that it's not the same. So
right.
That way you don't have to worry about making those changes. We made the changes for you.
And then as a tag along there, Chris, Peggy says, are these more generic or specific to our own states? They're not. It has nothing to do with state-specific situations. It has to do with real estate-specific trends and advice.
Yeah. So I mean, that is just one. We did the housing market as just one topic. Like I said, we have topics on home design trends, on how to increase the resale value of your home, how to choose an amazing real estate professional. Each month it's a different topic. It's a different theme, because you don't want to be talking about the exact same thing, how's the market, in this same format all the time. And it is okay to do a market update video, but not as a full campaign every single month, because people will tire of that if you're saying in that full blast of that omnipresent marketing the same thing all the time. So what I would suggest is you change up the topic to be, one month might be on, and it has to be things that would be of interest to them, that's connected to the home. So, 1 month might be on remodeling projects to increase your home's return on investment. Like, who wouldn't like to have the most current stats related to the remodeling projects if they're going to upgrade that master bedroom, they're going to drop that pool in, and you're just going to provide stats on here's what the typical cost is and here's what the ROI is. Right. And so, useful tips like that, or how to increase the resale value of your home, or a home maintenance checklist of all the appliances and stuff like that. What you're doing there is you're sharing home related stuff, so that, remember, we're trying to give them a reason to talk about us should the opportunity come about. And just talking about, or let's just say the market, how's the market, that is good, but it's not giving them a reason to talk about us, saying, oh, you know what, Gary, he recently sent me this really cool information on what I need to do if I'm remodeling my home, or some home design trends, always about the home. And that's what produces that word of mouth army out there of people. So many people don't understand how word of mouth takes place. We feel like if we just do the work, that people are then going to refer us and recommend us, and it doesn't work that way. We have to take control of that word of mouth marketing so that we can be the recognized individuals in our local marketplaces. It starts by marketing to your sphere of influence, but expands using these other templates and strategies that we've talked about today.
Awesome. Chris Mohini says, do you have an onboarding process? What apps do we need to? So basically, Mohini, yes, we do have an onboarding process for you when you join the marketing club.
Let me answer that specifically. One of the first things that you'll do is you'll be invited to an orientation training that we have on Monday. And we have them every Monday, so if you can't make it this Monday, you join us next Monday. And when you join us on the orientation, Jordan, who's our membership manager, she's going to explain to you exactly the path that you want to take to be able to get set up. Here's another thing that's going to start happening is over the course of the next several weeks, you're going to get emails from us. And each email is going to have just like 1 or 2 things for you to do. You don't need to overwhelm yourself trying to do all of this in a day, okay? I anticipate, based on my own experience in doing this for you guys, it's going to take time, and time is okay because you're going to get the immediate benefit of all these different things that you're going to experience as a marketing club member. But what's going to happen is over time, your level of implementation in all of these strategies is going to continue to increase at a deeper and deeper level, and your expertise that you have in doing so will be reflected in how your real estate practice grows and develops. And so, all it takes is one little task, one little step. So you're going to get emails every few days from us saying, hey, take a moment to join the private Facebook group. Hey, take a moment to go Google yourself and go choose one thing to work on for your online identity. Hey, take a moment to go to the marketing template library and pick a template that you might want to use in the future, right? So you're starting off small, because that really, a lot of times what happens is people have a lot of gusto and they try to do it all at once, and then they burn out or they get busy. And so I know that it's like that Kaizen way, just a little bit every day or a little bit every week is what's going to win the race for you. And when you're moving towards developing these marketing, these innovative marketing strategies and putting these templates to use for yourself in your real estate practice. So yes, we do have an onboarding process, and just kind of put some trust in the fact that you're going to get the support and help that you need. You can always email us at support@thepaperlessagent.com if you feel like you get stuck somewhere along the way.
Yep. Okay, next question is from Dana Wilson. So who teaches us how to target these people on Facebook who respond to an ad, to open an ad, to create that custom audience? So Dana, everything that Chris talked about in these advertisements and the how-to, like the baby steps in order to implement everything he's recommending, is all in the Facebook Marketing for Real Estate program.
There's two parts to it, Dana. You're going to get your nuts and bolts of how to use Facebook's ad platform in the Facebook Marketing for Real Estate program. Then when you're ready to go on to the advanced strategies, hop on over to the training library that's part of the Marketing Club membership and just do a quick search on Facebook ads, and you're going to see all of the stuff that we've been talking about here today: how to create custom audiences, how to do retargeting ads, how to do lead generation ads. All of that's going to be in that Marketing Club training library for you to be able to utilize. And here's what I find when it comes to something like Facebook is that Facebook ads is a skill to be developed. I know for me, it took me a little bit longer than most, because the first time I used Facebook, I hit that boost post button. I hit it 20 times in one day, wondering what was going to happen, and nothing happened. And that's when I realized I needed to learn how to go do it. And then when I went to go learn how to do it, there was no one really teaching anyone how to do it in real estate. So I had to go find people who were teaching it in other industries and then figure out how to do it in our own real estate practice. So it took me a lot longer. You have the benefit of someone going out and figuring out what needs to work in our industry in real estate. And so first, get the nuts and bolts of how do I create ads, how do I use Facebook ads in our Facebook Marketing for Real Estate program. Then go over to the training library in the Marketing Club membership and look for the specific strategies that you want to implement.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. Roger says, does the website include IDX capability? Chris, you actually have some interesting insight on IDX and the importance or lack thereof of IDX.
Here's the thing. We have, first off, no, our marketing websites do not include an IDX integration. And I constantly question our other website that we have for our real estate practice that does, right? So what I have found, and I've been talking to a lot of people about this recently, a lot of marketing experts who have also, have a foot in the real estate industry. And here's what we've been finding is that IDX is becoming questionable in value when you really look at how much you have to spend, because where do people, ultimately, where are people going to go? Where are people going to go? They're going to go to the home search sites. Yeah. That's where they're going to look at real estate. They're going to go to the
And here's why. These home search sites are spending gobs of money advertising their platform to the consumers. And so the consumers are overwhelmed by the top three: Zillow, Realtor.com, and Redfin.
So most websites attempt at IDX. It's a feeble attempt to compete with those people who have millions of dollars invested in it. So we can't play and win at their game. We don't have the money to compete in that game. So here's what we can do. We can own everything else. because it's still, here's the thing, they still want to know, like, and trust the person that they're going to work with. So we can circumvent that. We can let them search all day long on those places, as long as we are building our audiences, as long as we are getting them to know, like, and trust us, and taking advantage of using the types of marketing campaigns that I've shared with you guys. So you don't need to have that IDX integration. I remember I was very adamant that you need to have it, and there's some marketing campaigns that are of benefit in doing it. I just oftentimes question the value of them, right? Because I look at, well, I could use IDX, and I do use IDX, and then I look at our campaigns that I'm not using IDX for, and it seems like the campaigns I'm not using IDX for, because I have this process of building an audience and building trust with them, doesn't really require IDX. And it's when you have the data to look at it, you're like, yeah, that's funny. The IDX related offers are doing this well, and our expertise related offers are doing this well. Seems like the expertise related offers are doing better than the IDX related offers. So we don't provide IDX, and I don't plan on doing it for our marketing, for the marketing website. That's not the goal and intention. I really just want you to have a professional representation online. I want you to have a blog post being updated regularly so that you don't look like you went out of business. I want you to have a tool. So our marketing website is really a tool for you to implement many of these campaigns that we've talked about. Because your marketing website, you want to be able to create lead generation pages. You want to be able to create listing pages or pages about real estate and be able to market those things. So it's really more of a tool to be able to implement marketing campaigns so much as it is a home search site to be able to accomplish that. That's a different strategy,
right,
and one that we have other recommended providers that we would suggest that you work with if you're going to use an IDX strategy. But remember, IDX strategy for your website means you're committing to literally thousands and thousands of dollars in marketing to market your website online to get the traffic that you want.
And it's so much easier to use the strategies with these 12 campaigns that you just created for everybody. I would say take your money and redirect it to these campaigns, because for us, we're getting a much better return on our investment using these campaigns.
And this has been for us a learning experience as well, because there was a time when IDX was the go-to tool for being able to do the things that we were talking about. That time was probably sunsetted about 24 months ago. But here's the thing. Gary and I decided we were going to build a new website last year. And we put all this new stuff in place. So we used some of the older strategies that we would have used a few years ago. And we realized that it just doesn't work the way it worked a few years ago. And I would imagine that some of you guys out there might be wondering, have probably said to yourselves, so, I wonder if this IDX thing's really working. The only people who seem to create accounts on my IDX feed are the people who I already have in my database, the people I'm already working with, right? There's no new people going in there and filling out these forms and creating accounts. Yeah. Why? Because there's people out there, unfortunately, just doing it better. I like to compete where I know we can win, where I know we have a distinctive advantage. IDX is not a place where we have a distinctive advantage. You know what makes a distinctive advantage? You sharing your expertise in videos. Yes. You know what makes a distinctive advantage is you being able to share your expertise through the different tools, like your client welcome kit, through your professional dossier, by marketing, working with your professional network to send communications out to the people that you know, by building your own audience, by marketing real estate videos. Like, that is how we can have leverage, because we're not competing at their game, we're playing our own game.
And they can't compete at our game.
They can't compete at our own game because we've got us. You've got you. That's what makes it unique.
And they can't be you.
And then here's the thing. According to National Association of Realtors, the number one thing a home buyer and a home seller look for, they look at the reputation of the agent they're going to hire. They look at whether we are honest, whether we have integrity, whether they can trust us. It all boils down to trust, guys. And we can get them to know, like, and trust us if we do these types of campaigns. Forget about IDX. Do these instead.
Indeed. Awesome, Chris. I love it. Preach it, man. So if you want to learn more about how Chris is implementing all of these and how to implement this into your own business, do not miss this opportunity. Go click on that blue Join Club button now, and you can get started immediately. Now we have a few more questions, Chris.
Okay.
You got enough steam?
I still got it.
Okay. Eileen Rosenthal says, how do you create the call to action in the Facebook ad?
Well, a little tongue-in-cheek. You definitely want to check out how to do that in our Facebook Marketing for Real Estate program.
However, what module is that?
That would be in, I think, module 4, I think is what But I will go ahead and answer that question for you. So when you're creating an ad in when you're creating a campaign in Facebook ads, there's 3 conceptual organizational units that you must understand. You've got campaigns, you've got ad sets inside of a campaign, and then you've got ads inside of an ad set. All right. And so when you have a campaign, at the campaign level, you're going to set what your objective is. I want to generate leads. I want to get people to view videos. I want people to visit my website. I want people to engage this Facebook post, right? So you set the objective. And then from there, you say, how much money do I want to spend and who do I want this to get in front of? Now, the thing you have to understand about the saying who you want to get this in front of is that I rely very heavily to let the Facebook algorithm to do what the Facebook algorithm is good at, which is finding the people who are going to resonate with the messages. So there's a big mistake or misunderstanding of how the algorithm works, which thinks that, oh, if I tell Facebook to send it in front of these people, it's going to just put it in front of these people. No, it'll find a subset of the people who will like your message within those. And so the algorithm is really good at being able to pair up message to person quite effectively. So you're going to set those parameters though at the ad set level, and then when you go create your ad, you're going to put the creative components in there. You're going to put in there the text. You're going to put images or videos in there. You're going to then put like a headline for your ad, and then you're going to select if you want a call to action for that ad, like the button that you would actually have go in there. Now, different campaign objectives are going to have different call to action. So, like with the lead generation ads, it's going to have you create a form that will pop up inside there. If you're creating a video ad, you can add a link. A traffic ad, you have a link, right? So there's different campaign objectives. That's why you want to go through the Facebook Marketing for Real Estate program before you just go in there. I don't want you to haphazardly go in there and create ads. A lot of times what happens is that people will try something like Facebook ads, or they may even try some of these templates and these strategies that I've shared with them. And they'll do it and they'll say, oh, it didn't work. They'll do it once and they'll say that didn't work. I'm gonna say that you have to do something more than once to get good at it, right? The first time you went on a listing appointment, you probably didn't do so good. I mean, you might have gotten the listing.
It takes a little practice.
But you probably, I mean, like first time you went on a listing appointment, like
I don't even
compare it to how you do it now.
Well, here's the thing. I think I got the listing, and it's simply because it was my parents' best friends.
Right.
You know, and it's like I could have shown up like unkempt.
You could have peed your undies during the listing appointment, and they still would have been like, well, poor Gary.
Who's to say I didn't, Chris? But the thing is that, yeah, it's like, does a blind squirrel find a nut every so often? Yes.
It happens. So, you know, with Facebook, though, we have this instant gratification approach to it, like, oh, we should spit out leads right now. And we send out an email to our database, and we have this instant gratification approach. Consistency and time is what it takes. And it's what it takes in marketing to be successful, is consistency over time to kind of the right people, right? And I actually use consistency over time over trying to get the messages right. I know that having a semi-decent message consistently over time is better than trying to get the perfect message. But a lot of times what happens is we just don't do the little things right. You know, so you run an ad and you boost the post and it wasn't the right format, wasn't the right message at all, right? It wasn't like a lead generation ad offering something helpful to an audience of people that we've been building trust with. And so, yeah, it doesn't work. And that's why we created these tools. And that's why we have this membership, is to be able to help you do these things a little bit more correctly. Mm-hmm. But don't have the expectation to do it like perfectly the first time around. It takes time. It takes a little bit of practice. But boy, within a few quick weeks here, all of a sudden you're going to turn around and realize how much skill you've added. And the thing is, you don't lose that skill. That skill is yours to keep because it's know-how that you've acquired through just taking a little bit of time to learn how to do this. And so I want you guys to have that for yourselves.
So go get it right now. Go click on that link, says join club now, and get signed up as we get to this last question. Chris, Mohini says, are your campaigns applicable to Google AdWords?
So we do have lots of training on Google Ads in our training library in the Marketing Club membership. We've touched on Google Ads in a number of different ways. In fact, next week, I'm going to be doing a pre-recorded session with one of our members who's a Google Ads ninja in Houston. And so Christopher Dean out of Houston, he's going to be sharing with me, and I'm going to pre-record that so I can share that with you guys on the specific Google Ads strategies that he's using for search. We've talked about, though, Google search, the display marketing. Gary and I do a ton of YouTube marketing using Google Ads. It's one of the biggest sources of traffic and customers that we have is coming through the trust building factor of using YouTube. So yes, we do address Google Ads, the display network, search ads, and YouTube ads, because those are all the same. same platform in the training library in the Marketing Club membership.
Yep. Awesome. So, number one, Chris, thank you so much. I learned every time you do something like this, I learn a little bit more.
You know, Gary, I'm always surprised that I'm always learning from myself, like, because it's not me. It's, here's the thing. Whenever you go to implement this stuff, and I'm learning all the time because I'm implementing this stuff in our real estate practice all the time, you can't help but to like figure something out and have a new insight.
Right.
And so, and even for me, just being able to share this with you guys cements different things that are working in our real estate practice that I'm like, oh, I got to do that. I got to do this. Oh, I got to make sure I got to go check in on this. So it's always exciting to be able to share this information with you guys. And you're getting just a taste of what it's like when you become a Marketing Club member, because we like to share this with all of our members all the time, what's working, what's not working, and staying on top of the most effective ways for us to be able to grow our real estate practices.
Yeah. So if you want access to everything that Chris talked about, and you want that MVP, which is the monthly value program, where you're able to send out marketing materials consistently. Remember, Chris said there are 2 keys to marketing success. Number 1 is great content and consistency. Well, here's the thing. If you, as a Marketing Club member, you get that great content, we create it for you. And number 2, you get it sent out consistently every single month because we're providing that to you to send out every single month. If you want that content and you want that consistency, go sign up and we will see you in the Marketing Club immediately. Chris, any final words for everybody who joined us today?
No, I look forward to hearing your success stories. Please send them to us. Send them to support@thepaperlessagent.com. We'll see you on the next member training, and we'll see you in the private Facebook group. Take care, guys.